I have established already, or would substantiate the same with lots of irrefutable proofs shortly, that Mahabarath happened in South Tamil Nadu. That means one of the main characters of the epic, Krishna, should also belong to South Tamil Nadu. Despite establishing that his name was a title name with the meaning man of ideas in Tamil, I have to establish with the concrete evidence that he indeed belonged to Tamil Nadu. This has to be done in two parts. I have to first prove that he did not belong to North India. I then have to prove that he indeed belonged to Tamil Nadu. To prove that he did not belong to North India, I researched on the herding communities and established that he did not belong to Yadu dynasty. As Yadu dynasty was a North Indian dynasty, I have partly succeeded in proving that he did not belong to North India. One more hitch to be cleared is Dwarka. Krishna is associated with the Dwarka city near to the sea. Presently, this is believed to be in Gujarat. I have to establish that Dwarka is not situated in Gujarat, but in Tamil Nadu, which would simultaneously prove that Krishna belonged to Tamil Nadu. If you seek etymology of this name, the Sanskrit scholars say Dwar means gate and Ak means Swarga, that is the abode of Brahma. Dwarka, according to them, means gateway to heaven. Dwar is actually any long hole and was mistook by the Brahmins that it means the gate or the passage. Ak does not mean anything at all, and they simply say it means Swarga to complete their fake etymology. Hence, Sanskrit meaning of Dwarka is not proper and correct. I have to establish the correct meaning of Dwarka. Tuvaram in Tamil means a long or deep hole. We would see how this word came to be. Tu plus var, tuvar. Var means a long stretch of anything. It could be a long mountain range or it could be a long water canal. Tu stands for Tulai, which means a hole in Tamil. Hence, Tuvaram means a long hole. The region where the river meets the sea is called Muhattuvaram. It means the face of the long hole. If you see the place where the river meets the sea, from the seaside, that place would appear to be a long hole in earth. The front side of the hole is called Muhattuvaram, as Muham means face in Tamil. Normally, seaports are situated at such points. Such a port and the adjoining city is called Tuvaraham. Tuvaram plus Aham is equal to Twaraham. It means the place at the hole. This Twaraham deformed to Dwaraham and ultimately Dwaraka. This is the correct etymology of Dwaraka. It is actually the Musiri port of the ancient Tamil land, which is presently called Kochi port. Even the name Musiris means Dwaraka only. When we laugh with our mouth wide open, we make a big hole in our face. This hole is obtained by Muhasiripu, that is Muhasiri, that is Musiri. Hence, the port city which was called Dwaraka in Mahabarath time was called metaphorically by the name Musiri during the Sangam era. This again proves that Musiri was the real Dwaraka. There isn't any valid proof to establish that the so-called Dwaraka of Gujarat is actually the Dwaraka of Krishna. There might be a submerged city in Gujarat, but it shall be some other city and not Dwaraka of Mahabharata era. However, to prove that the Dwaraka existed, Periplus of the Mediterranean Sea is used as a proof which is void. Periplus never calls the port as Dwaraka, but it called it as a Barigasa situated at the Gulf of Baraka. The long narrow strip of what is called Var in Tamil and the region containing this Var is called Aham, and hence this gulf is called Varaham, which deformed to Baraham with the usual deformation of Var to Ba. That's how this gulf is called Gulf of Baraka. We can observe again a long water canal at the place where Narmada river meets the sea. This long canal is called Var and the port city situated there is called Kasa, meaning coin, which stands for trade. Hence, the port city at the Narmada river canal was called Var Kasa, which deformed to Varikasa and ultimately to Barigasa. The same port is called by Ptolemy as Barake, situated at the Gulf of Conthils, and hence the Gulf of Conthils should again be Gulf of Baraka only. Kan in Tamil means hole. Moreover, what the Sanskrit Mahabharata calls Dwaraka is not at all shown as port city in Periplus, and hence this is not a trading port and hence not mentioned in Periplus. The Barigasa of Baraka, that Periplus mentions is today's Bharuch only. But this place is 419 kilometer aerial distance away from the so-called Dwarka, and hence matching Dwarka with Barigasa is scandalous. Moreover, Dwarka would never deform as Baraka. Only one copper plate inscription of Simhaditya of Mitraka dynasty belonging to 574 AD is cited as archaeological proof for Dwarka. But these rulers ruled Vallabhi as Senapati of Gupta Empire. Gupta funded Sanskrit scholars who created most Sanskrit literature, including Ramayanam and Mahabaratham in these times. I have been saying that during Gupta regime, all Tamil works were plagiarized into Sanskrit works, and hence we cannot take this copper plate inscription seriously. Hence, we have established conclusively that there are no evidences to prove that Krishna belonged to North India. I now have to provide consistent proof that Krishna belonged to Tamil Nadu. I prove that he belonged to Tamil Nadu on the following counts: traditional information on Krishna, geographical factors, Krishna worship heritage, cultural factors. Traditional information on Krishna. Krishna is traditionally called as Ayarbadi Kannan. Ayers means cowherds in Tamil. This is in contrast to Sanskrit Mahabarath that Krishna belonged to Yadava dynasty, which I have proved as wrong, as Yadavas are shepherds and not cowherds. Ayarbadi means cantonment of cowherds, which we would have occasion to discuss again. Geographical factors. Krishnan is traditionally called as Idayar. We have already stated that they lived between the agricultural lands in the east and the mountains in the west, and that's how they were called Idayar, as Idayar means people living in between. The Idayar title fits the geography of South Tamil Nadu, where the Mahabharata war really happened. Krishna worship heritage. I had already stated that there are no ancient temples for Krishna in the northern Tamil Nadu. I now have to see if ancient Krishna worship was there, at least in the place where Krishna lived. About 8 months ago, I was going to Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala, on my business trip. I was traveling by my car and my assistant Uma Eason was driving the car. He chose to go by Dindukal, Tirumangalam, Tiruvilliputtur, Tenkasi, Madattara and Nedumangadu route. After embarking on Trichy-Dindukal route and heading towards Tenkasi, we had been regularly intercepted by place names ending with Patti. I was thrilled and kept telling my assistant that these regions were forest regions in ancient times, specifically Mahabharata times. How is it that Patti would mean that it was a forest region? I need to discuss this important point. I would digress here to introduce you to the typical names of the places in the forest lands. Lands are generally categorized into 5 types by Tamils as detailed in Tolkappiyam, which I have already discussed in the Mahabharata series. Each type of land called its villages and towns by specifically different names. On knowing the names of the places, we shall immediately infer the type of the land that place belongs to. To make the video as short as possible, we would stick to the forest land only. Forest and adjoining regions were called Mullai lands after the jasmine flower called Mullai in Tamil. Here, herding was the only major profession. There are 3 types of places in Mullai region. Kuppam is a small hamlet. It refers to the small residing places of goat herders. This name originated from the litter of the goats, which is called Kuppai, and hence these types of small hamlets of goat herders are called Kuppam. Even in Netherlands, small fishing hamlets are called Kuppam after the fish waste seen around in such places. Patti is a larger residing place of the general herder community. This name originated from the barricades in which the cattle are contained during night times. Patti means a round barricade. Very large residing places of the herding communities are called Padi, which shall be equated to cantonment in English, where an army is stationed. Padi is a deformed name from the original word Vadi, which means idly lying place for cattle. Since Padi is a large town, some of the cattle, namely the cows, are not taken out for grazing, and on the other hand, they are provided with the fodder in the places where they are normally housed. As these cattle are idly lying, such places were originally called Vadi, which deformed to Padi. Hence, if we encounter the names that end with Kuppam, Patti or Padi, we know that such places were originally part of the forest lands. That's how, on seeing names like Patti all along the road, I was sure that these regions were forest lands 5000 years ago. Obviously, I was indeed expecting that I shall come upon some evidence to show that Krishna would have lived in these zones. We now reached Tirumangalam and were proceeding to Srivilliputtur. I always wanted to visit Srivilliputtur, a temple town, and I have this chance for the first time. When we were some 10 kilometers to Srivilliputtur, we encountered a small town with the name Krishnan Koil. It was indeed a welcome surprise for me, and I immediately told my assistant to halt the car near a tea shop. After I ordered tea for us, I was inquiring the shop owner regarding the name of the town Krishnan Koil. He said there is a Krishnan temple here, and this town itself is called after the temple. We then decided to visit the temple. The priest of this Krishnan Koil told us that this temple is very ancient temple and was originally built by Pandyas some 1300 years ago, and further contributions were made by Cholas and Nayakas. I was really amazed. There is a sizable Telugu population in these zones, and they came here during Vijayanagar rule some 600 years ago. This temple being 1300 years old and Telugus arriving here about 600 years ago, obviously this temple was not built by Telugus. It was built by the descendants of Pandyas who were friends of Krishna during Mahabarath war. For the first time, I came across an ancient and dedicated Krishna temple built by Tamils well before the arrival of Telugus. I then came to know there were a number of ancient Krishna temples in Virudhunagar district, the most part of which being the forest lands during Mahabharata era. Finally, I got relieved of my ignorance. There are ancient Krishna temples in Tamil Nadu, and Tamils worshipped Krishna from ancient times. But then I should explain the absence of Krishna temples in the northern Tamil Nadu. The answer is very simple. After Mahabharata war ended with the victory for Pandyas, all the hitherto Ayas who possessed cows and bulls became agriculturists. Despite becoming agriculturists, they continued to worship their hero, Krishna, in these regions. That's how Krishna is still worshipped in southern Tamil Nadu, even though Ayar community has eventually vanished and had become new agrarian community. However, as the northern Ayas were not aware of Krishna in his times, and when they became agriculturists, their natural goddesses was Draupadi or Pachiyamma, and obviously Krishna was not worshipped in the northern Tamil Nadu, and hence there were no ancient temples for him. Most northern temples were built by Cholas, who originated nearly after 2 millennia after the Mahabharata war, and they originated from Tanjore region. Obviously, Cholas built Shiva and Vishnu temples in the north and not Krishna temples. Only when Mahabharata epic was enacted as drama that the northern Tamil Nadu people became aware of Krishna. Krishna should have studied in Gurukulam and became a king of his Ayar tribe. He was not a Siddha, but he was a great intellectual. He propounded the universally famous Yuga concept, which was nothing but the cultural history of Tamils. He should have advised Arjuna regarding the realities of life when he was apprehensive fighting people like Dronachari and Bhishma who were dear to him. That advice should have been the original Bhagavad Gita. The original Mahabharata was orally transmitted in Tamil in poetico speech combo format, which was the norm in those times, as alphabetic Tamil was yet to develop. That poetico speech style was called Pakkadai in Tamil. Pa means poetic and Kadai means speech. The people who used such a form of communication were called Pakkadayar. This Pakkadayar deformed to Bhagavadar. They communicated to the people using both songs and speech, and hence were called Bhagavadar.
அகப்படமாட்டான் அகப்படமாட்டான் யாரு கையிலும் அகப்படமாட்டான் இவன் அகப்படமாட்டான் அகப்படமாட்டான் யாரு கையிலும் அகப்படமாட்டான் படவே மாட்டான் படவே மாட்டான் யாரு கண்ணிலும் படவே மாட்டான் இவன் படவே மாட்டான் படவே மாட்டான் யாரு கண்ணிலும் படவே மாட்டான் ஆவா இவன் யாருக்கு அஞ்சிட மாட்டான் இந்த ராவணேஸ்வரன் ஆமா இவன் யாருக்கு அகப்பட மாட்டான். இப்படியாகத்தானே சோகத்திலே மூழ்கி அசோக வனத்தில் இருக்கப்பட்ட சீதா பிராட்டியாரிடம் ராவணனாகப்பட்டவன் தன் பெருமைகளை தானே எடுத்துச் சொல்லி அருகில் நெருங்கினான். அம்மையாருக்கு ஒன்றுமே புரியவில்லை, ஒரே கன்ஃபியூஷன். இவனிடத்திலிருந்து எப்படி தப்புவதென்று அப்படி இப்படியுமாக பார்த்தார்கள், வெம்பினார்கள், வேதனை அடைந்தார்கள். இதையெல்லாம் கண்டுகூட கரியவில்லை அந்த அரக்கன் மனது. மேலும் என்ன சொல்லுகிறான் என்றால், பாம்பணியும் சிவதாம்பவன் சாட்சியாய் பாம்பணியும் சிவ.
Geetam means song in Tamil. It is the Bhagavata's Geetam that deformed to Bhagavad Gita. That's how the word Bhagavad Gita originated from Tamil. Krishna came into prominence all over India when the Jewish Brahmins looted his legacy, when they looted Mahabarath from Tamils to further their political agenda in India. Krishna was a political strategist, and that was very convenient for the Brahmins to politically poison the Indian minds in the name of Krishna by making Krishna speaking their words. They put their words into Krishna's mouth. They used his original advice to Arjuna, which was part of Tamil Mahabarath, to introduce hierarchical society delineated by their Varna concept and called it Bhagavad Gita. Returning back, I have shown proof that South Tamil Nadu worshipped Krishna as they were originally Ayers. I was happy that I had found an ancient temple for Krishna in the vicinity of the battlefield. Shall I be able to show some more proof that he belonged to South? Yes, indeed. After visiting Krishna temple, we headed towards Srivilliputtur, which was away by half an hour drive. As soon as we landed in Srivilliputtur, we were confronted by Palkova stores everywhere. It was strikingly unusual. Most of the shops in this town were Palkova stores. I expressed my surprise to my assistant. He then told me that Srivilliputtur is the headquarters of Palkova for whole of India and even the whole of the world, and he was surprised that I was unaware of the same. I then immediately connected Palkova reality with other observed facts. This region carries Patti titles for most of its places. There is an ancient Krishnan Koil nearby, and now this place is known for Palkova heritage. Palkova is a Tamil name, and it is known in this name all over India. Pal means milk in Tamil, and Kova shall either mean king or cow. In fact, the name Ko for cow evolved out of Krishna, the king of cowherds. All these observations fit nicely with the fact that Krishna belonged to this region. In North India, there is no distinguishable names of places which point to residences of cowherds like Patti or Padi in Tamil Nadu. The North Indian cowherds are called Ahirs, which deformed from Ayr of Tamil Nadu. Palkova is prepared by condensing milk by heating and adding sweetener. 5000 years ago, only Tamil Nadu boasted of palm jaggery, which was called Karupatti, and hence obviously Tamil Nadu was the original producers of Palkova. Hence all these facts point to the truth that Krishna belonged to this region. As supporting evidence, there is another town with the name Krishnarajapuram west of Srivilliputtur, and there is an ancient Krishna temple. In this temple, Krishna, as a child, is standing with the butter in both his stretched out hands. This place is on the road between Srivilliputtur and Tenkasi. There might be many more ancient Krishna temples in this region. I have established that in the southern Tamil Nadu and in the region where Mahabarath war happened, there are ancient temples for Krishna built of stone. But when I search for Krishna temples all over the rest of India, none of the temples are older than 600 years. Even if you assume that Muslim invasion during 13th century destroyed Dwarka temple. That temple should have been built during or after Gupta regime when they relocated Kurukshetra to north. There might be a submerged city at the so-called Dwarka, but it need not be the original Dwarka at all. My claim is that Kochi is the actual Dwarka. Hence, existence of ancient stone temples for Krishna in the South Tamil Nadu region where Mahabarath war happened and non-existence of such ancient Krishna temples in the rest of India proves that Krishna belonged to this region only. His Edayer title fits the geography of South Tamil Nadu. He is also rightly called Ayarbadi Kannan in Tamil, meaning cowherd. Srivilliputtur belonging to South Tamil Nadu region where Mahabharat war happened, and this very place being the headquarters for Palkova from ancient times doubly proves that Krishna lived in this region. In my next video, I would narrate my search for evidence for Kauravas in the Malanadu of Kerala.